check now. So our progress report says we are at stage 3, paragraph page 186. Okay. And
Yes.
our last headword was accent, new word type of lesson. Okay, so let's start with our revision. Ready?
Okay.
Okay, here we go. First question. What's the difference between a road and a street? What's the difference between a road and a street? The difference
The
between
difference
a
between
road
a
and a
road
street
and a
is
street
that a
is
road
that a
is
road
generally
is
in the
generally
country
in the
and connects
country
two
and
towns,
connects two towns,
whereas a street
whereas a
is in a
street
town
is in a
and
town
generally
and then
has shops in it.
generally a shops in it.
Very good. Do you live in a road or a street? Do you live in a road or a street? I live in a
I live in a street.
street. Very good. Okay. Next. What's this? What's this? It's a line.
It's a line.
Are there a lot of lines on an old person's face? Are there a lot of lines on an old person's face? Yes, there are
Yes,
a lot of
there are
lines
a lot
on
of
an old
lines on the
person's face.
person's face.
Very good. Okay, next. Is this a crooked line? Is this a crooked line? No, it
No,
isn't
it
a crooked line.
isn't a crooked
It's
line.
a straight line.
It's a straight line.
Very good. Okay, next. Is the road between New York and California straight? Is the road between New York and California straight? No, the road
No,
between
the
New
road
York and
between New York
California
and
isn't
California
straight.
isn't
It's
straight.
crooked.
It's crooked.
Very good. After drinking a bottle of whiskey, can people walk in a straight line? After drinking a bottle of whiskey, can people walk in a straight line? No. After
No,
drinking a
after
bottle of
drinking
whiskey,
about
one more?
whiskey.
No. After drinking
No,
a
after
bottle
drinking
of whiskey,
about of whiskey.
people can't walk in a
People
straight
can
line.
walk in the
They
straight
walk in
line.
a crooked
They
line.
walk in the crooked line.
Where is ABC Street crooked? Is ABC Street crooked? No.
No,
ABC Street
ABC
isn't
Street
crooked.
isn't crooked.
It's straight.
It's straight.
Very good. Does the sun always shine? Does the sun always shine? No. The sun
No,
doesn't
the sun
always shine.
doesn't always shine.
Sometimes it shines,
Sometimes it
and
shines,
sometimes
and
the sky
sometimes
is
the
covered
sky
with
is
clouds.
covered with clouds.
Very good. Is it always hot in France? Is it always hot in France? No, it
No,
isn't
it
always hot
isn't always hot
in
in
France.
France.
Sometimes it's hot,
Sometimes it's hot,
and
and
sometimes it's
sometimes
cold.
it's cold.
Very good. Is Easter always in March? Is Easter always in March? No,
No,
Easter isn't
it
always
isn't
in
always
March.
in March.
Sometimes it's in
Sometimes
March,
in March,
and
and
sometimes it's in
sometimes it's
April.
in April.
Very good. Do you always get up at the same time every morning? Do you always get up at the same time every morning? No, I
No,
don't always
I
get
don't
up
always
at the
get up
same
at
time
the
every
same
morning.
time every morning.
Sometimes I get up
Sometimes
early,
I get up early,
and sometimes
and
I get up
sometimes I
late.
get up late.
Very good. Does the government of your country make the laws of the country? Does the government of your country make the laws of your country? Yes, the government
Yes,
of my
the
country
government of my
makes
country
the laws of
makes a
my
rules
country.
of my country.
Very good. On which side of your body is your heart? On which side of your body is your heart? My heart is
My
on the
heart
left
is
side
on the left
of
side
my body.
of my body.
Very good. What's the difference between the words quick and quickly? What's the difference between the words quick and quickly? The difference
The
between
difference
the
between
words quick
the
and
word quick
quickly
and
is
quickly
that quick
is that
is an
quick
adjective,
is an adjective,
whereas quickly
whereas
is
quickly
an adverb.
is an adverb.
Very good. Give me an example of the difference. Give me an example of the difference, please. He is a
It
quick
is
writer.
a quick
He
writer,
writes quickly.
quick writes quickly.
He writes quickly.
He writes quickly.
Do you speak English quickly? Do you speak English quickly? No, I don't
No,
speak
I don't
English
speak
quickly,
English
but
quickly,
I speak it
but I
quickly
speak
enough.
it quickly enough.
Do people generally walk slowly when the weather is cold? Do people generally walk slowly when the weather is cold? No,
No,
people don't
people
generally walk
don't
slowly
generally walk
when
slowly
the weather is
when
cold.
the weather is
They
cold.
walk quickly.
They walk quickly.
Can you text as quickly as you can speak? Can you text as quickly as you can speak? No, I can't
No,
text
I
as
can't
quickly
text
as I
as
can
quickly
speak.
as I can
I
speak.
text more slowly
I text
than I
more
speak.
slowly.
One more. I text more
I
slowly
text more slowly
than I speak.
when I speak,
Than I speak.
and then I speak.
Very good. What's the opposite of deep? What's the opposite of deep? The opposite
The
of
opposite
deep
of
is shallow.
is shallow.
Well, the opposite of deep
The opposite of deep
is
is
shallow.
shallow.
Very good. Is the river Thames deeper than the Mediterranean Sea? Is the river Thames deeper than the Mediterranean Sea? No, the river
No,
Thames
the river
isn't
Thames
deeper
isn't
than the
deeper
Mediterranean
than the
Sea.
Mediterranean
It's
Sea.
lower,
It's
it's
lower.
shallower than
It's
the
shallower
Mediterranean
than the
Sea.
Mediterranean Sea.
Do people study subjects deeply at university? Do people study subjects deeply at university? Yes, people
Yes,
study
people
subjects
study
deeply
subjects
at university.
deep at the university.
Very good. Do you smoke? Do you smoke? Yes or no? No, I don't
Yes,
smoke. You,
no, I don't smoke.
which
You,
which person in your family smoke the most? Which person in your family smoke the most? My
my mother
is the
is
person in
a
my
person
family
in my
who
family
smokes the most.
is who smokes the most.
How many cigarettes does she smoke a day? How many cigarettes does she smoke a day? She smokes
She smokes 2 cigarettes
a day.
in a day.
When people smoke, where do they put the ash? When people smoke, where do they put the ash? When people smoke,
When people
they put
smoke,
the ash
they put the
in
ash
an
in
ashtray.
an ashtray.
If you arrive too early at the station, what must you do? If you arrive too early at the station, what must you do? If I arrive
If I
too
arrive
early at the
too
station,
early at the
I must
station,
wait for the
I must
train.
wait for the train.
Do you like waiting? Do you like waiting? No, I
No,
don't
I
like
don't
waiting.
like
I
waiting.
dislike waiting.
I dislike waiting.
If you arrive here at the school 10 minutes too early, how long must you wait for the lesson to begin? If you arrive here at the school 10 minutes too early, how long must you wait for the lesson to begin? If I arrive
If
here
I
at
arrive
the
here
school
at the
10
school
minutes too
10
early,
minutes too
I must
early,
wait
I
10
must wait
minutes
10
for the
minutes
lesson to begin.
for the lesson to begin.
Very good. Is it pleasant to wait for somebody in the rain? Is it pleasant to wait for somebody in the rain? No, it
No,
isn't
it
pleasant
isn't
to
pleasant
wait for
to
somebody
wait for
in the
somebody
rain.
in the
It's
rain.
unpleasant.
It's unpleasant.
Very good. What's the difference between the words ever and never? What's the difference between the words ever and never? The difference
The
between
difference
the
between
words
the
ever and never
whatever and
is
never
that the word
is that
ever
the
is
whatever
positive
is
and
positive
is generally
and is
used
generally
in
used
questions,
in questions,
whilst the word
whereas
never
the word never
is negative.
is negative.
Why does it ever snow in the south of Italy in summer? Does it ever snow in the south of Italy in summer? No, it never
No,
snows in
it
the
never
south of
snows in the
Italy
south of Italy
in summer.
in summer.
Do you ever come here on Sunday? Do you ever come here on Sunday? No, I never
No,
come
I don't.
here
I've never come
on
here
Sunday.
on Sunday.
Does the sun ever shine during the night? Does the sun ever shine during the night? No, the sun
No,
never
the sun
shines
never shines
during the night.
during the night.
Is Christmas ever on the 21st of December? Is Christmas ever on the 21st of December? No, Christmas
No,
is never
Christmas
on
is
the
never on
21st
the
of December.
21st
Of
of December.
December. One more. No,
No,
Christmas is never
Christmas is
on the
never
21st
on the
of December.
21st of December.
It's always on the
It's
25th
always on the
of December.
25th of December.
Very good. Okay, next. What's this? What's this? It's a square.
It's a square.
What's this? What's this? It's a circle.
It's a circle.
Very good. Is the face of my watch square? Is the face of my watch square? No. The face of your
Yeah, no.
watch
The face of your
isn't
watch
square. It's
isn't
round.
square. It's round.
Very good. How many pictures are there round these walls? How many pictures are there round these walls? There are two pictures
There are two
round
pictures
those walls.
round those walls.
Where does she walk round the classroom during the lesson? Does she walk round the classroom during the lesson? No, she
No,
doesn't walk
she
round the
doesn't walk
classroom
around
during
classroom
the lesson.
during the
She
lesson.
sits on her chair.
She sits on the hard chair.
Very good. Okay, what am I doing? What am I doing? You're shaking your
You're
pen.
shaking your pen.
Do you always shake hands with your friends every time you see them? Do you always shake hands with your friends every time you see them? No, I don't
No,
always
I
shake
don't
hands
always
with
shake
my
hands
friends
with my
every
friends
time I see them.
every time I see them.
Very good. Okay, next, what am I doing? What am I doing? You're nodding your head.
You're, yes,
You're nodding your head.
you're nodding in your head.
Very good. Do we nod our heads when we say no? Do we nod our heads when we say no? No. We don't
No.
nod
We
our
don't nod
heads
our
when we
heads
say no.
when we
We
say no.
when we say no,
When we say no.
we shake our
We
heads
shake our
when we
heads
say no.
when we say no.
Very good. What do you call or what do we call this direct method we are using for learning English? What do we call this direct method we are using for learning English? We call
We
this
call
direct method
this direct method
we are using
we
for
are
learning
using
English.
oh,
uh, for
for
learning
learning
English.
for learning
One
English.
more. We call
We
this
call
direct method
this direct
we
method
are using
we
for
are
learning
using for
English.
learning
The
English.
Callan method.
The current method.
By this method, do students translate before speaking? By this method, do students translate before speaking? No. By
No,
this method,
by this method,
students don't
students
translate
don't translate
before speaking.
before speaking.
They think and speak
They think and speak
directly in the new language.
directly in new
In the
languages.
new language.
In the new
Very
languages.
good. Is it more or less time to go to bed? Is it more or less time to go to bed? Yes or no?
No,
It
I don't
isn't.
go.
It
It
isn't more or less time
isn't more rest
to
time
go to bed.
to go to bed.
Are the countries of Europe more or less friends today? Are the countries of Europe more or less friends today? Yes, the
Yes,
countries of
the
Europe
countries of
are more
Europe
or
are
less friends
more
today.
or less friends today.
Very good. What kind of accent do you speak English with? What kind of accent do you speak English with? I speak English
I speak
with a
English
Japanese
with a
accent.
Japanese accent.
Where's the accent in the word excellent? Where's the accent in the word excellent? The accent
The
in the
accent,
word
the
excellent
accent in the word excellent
is on the first
is
syllable.
on the first syllable.
Very good. Thanks, repeat. Okay, so that's the end of our revision. Let's have your work. Very good. Very fast. Okay, repeat. To depend on.
To depend on.
Very good. Okay, listen. To depend on is a verb. One meaning of to depend on is to need someone for something. For example, children depend on their parents for everything. Another meaning of to depend on is when one thing happens because of another. For example, some people buy expensive clothes, others buy cheap clothes. It depends on how much money they have. Let's practice. Do children depend on their parents for money? Do children depend on their parents for money? Yes, children
Yes,
depend
two
on their
children
parents
depend on the
for money.
parents of money
For money.
for money.
Some people eat in expensive restaurants, others eat in cheap restaurants. What does it depend on? Some people eat in expensive
Some people eat
restaurants,
in expensive restaurants.
others eat in cheap restaurants.
Other eat in eat
In cheap
other eat in cheap
restaurants.
restaurants.
What does this depend on? It depends on how much money
It depends on how much
they
money
have.
they have.
Very good. During the day it's light, whilst during the night it's dark. What does this depend on? During the day it's light, whilst
During the
during the
day,
night
bright,
it's
but
dark.
during the night, instead.
What does this depend on?
What does this depend on?
It depends on the sun.
In the
It depends
in
on the sun
it depends on the sun
and where it is
and
and
where
where it
it
is in
is
the sky.
in the
So
sky.
that's the answer. You repeated the question as well. Okay, very good. Okay, next repeat. Cloud.
Cloud.
Very good. Again, listen. Cloud is a noun. Clouds are made of water. We can see clouds in the sky. They float in the sky. Let's practice. Are there any clouds in the sky today? Are there any clouds in the sky today? Yes or no?
Yes.
There are some
There
clouds
are
in the
some
sky
clouds in the
today.
sky today.
What are clouds made of? What are clouds made of? Clouds are made of water.
Are made of water.
Very good. Next, repeat. Remember.
Remember.
Forget.
Forget.
Very good. Okay, listen. Remember is a verb. For example, I remember the name of this thing. It's a pen. I remember his name. His name's Mr. Brown. Forget is the opposite of remember. For example, I don't always remember everything I learn. Some things I remember and some things I forget. Let's practice. Do you always remember everything you learn? Do you always remember everything you learn? No, I don't
No, I
always
don't
remember
always remember
everything I learn.
everything I learn.
Some things I
Something
remember
I
and
remember
some
and
things I
something
forget.
I forget.
Very good. Do you remember when to use capital letters in English? Do you remember when to use capital letters in English? Yes or no?
No,
I
I
don't
don't
remember when to
remember
use
when to
capital
use
letters in
capital
English.
letters in the English.
Let's review. We use capital letters.
Uh,
We
we
use
we
capital
use
letters
capital
at the
letters
beginning of a
at the
sentence
beginning of a
for the
sentence
pronoun I
for pronoun
and
I
for the first
and
letter
for
and
first
for the first
and
letter
for the first
of
letter
people's names,
of people's
place
names,
names,
place
days of the
names,
week,
days of
months of
day
the
of the
year,
week, months of the year,
nationalities, and
nationalities,
languages.
and languages.
Very good. Do you remember the name of this thing? Do you remember the name of this thing? Yes, I
Yes,
remember the
I
name
remember
of the
the
thing.
name of the thing.
It's a pen.
It's a pen.
Do you ever forget to answer emails? Do you ever forget to answer emails? Yes, I sometimes
Yes,
forget
I sometimes forget
to answer emails.
to answer emails.
Very good. Do you ever forget the names or faces of people you know? Do you ever forget the names or faces of people you know? Yes, I sometimes
Yes, I
forget
sometimes forget
the names
the names of faces
or faces
of of
or
of
faces
or
of
faces
people I know.
of people I know.
One more. Yes, I sometimes
Yes, I
forget
sometimes
the
forget
names
the
or
names
faces
of
of
faces
people I know.
of people I know.
Very good. Next, repeat nearly.
Eerie.
Very good. Okay, listen. Nearly has the same meaning as more or less or about. For example, it's more or less time to go home. Or we can say it's nearly time to go home. Okay, let's practice. Are we nearly at the end of the lesson? Are we nearly at the end of the lesson? Yes or no?
Uh, no, I
We
don't.
we aren't
Uh,
nearly,
we are nearly.
or we aren't like are not.
We aren't.
We aren't
We
nearly
aren't
at
nearly
the end of the
at
lesson.
the end of the lesson.
Are we nearly in autumn? Are we nearly in autumn? Yes or no?
Uh, n- no, no.
No, we
I
aren't nearly
we aren't
in
nearly
autumn.
in autumn.
Very good. Is it nearly time to go to bed? Is it nearly time to go to bed? Yes or no?
Yes,
It's
I re-
nearly. Uh,
it's
yes, it's nearly time
yes, it's nearly
to go to
time
bed.
to go to bed.
Very good. Are you nearly always the last person to get up in your family? Are you nearly always the last person to get up in your family? Yes or no?
No,
I'm
I
not
don't.
nearly
I'm not nearly
always
get
the last
always
person
that last
to get
person
up in my
to get
family.
up in my family.
My who get
My
up the late? My brother,
uh,
my sister, my mother
my father
is nearly
is
always
nearly
the
always
last person to
the
get
last
up in
person
my
to get
family.
up in my family.
Very good. Next, repeat. Wasn't,
Wasn't
weren't.
wrong.
Very good. Okay, listen. The negative of I was is I was not or I wasn't. Whilst the negative of you were is you were not. Contraction is you weren't. Okay, let's practice. What's the negative of I was? What's the negative of I was? The negative
The
of I
negative
was
of I was
is I
is
wasn't.
I wasn't.
What's the negative of you were? What's the negative of you were? The negative
The
of you
negative
were
of you were
is you
is
weren't.
you weren't.
Was I at this school 50 years ago? Was I at this school 50 years ago? No, you weren't
No, you
at this
weren't
school
at
50
this
years
school
ago.
50 years ago.
Were you here 100 years ago? Were you here 100 years ago? No, I wasn't
No, I
here
wasn't
a
here
hundred years
a
ago.
100 years ago.
Very good. Was she in a different classroom last lesson? Was she in a different classroom last lesson? No, she
No,
wasn't
she
in a
wasn't
different
in a
classroom
different
last
classroom
lesson.
last lesson.
Very good. Were we in this world 90 years ago? Were we in this world 90 years ago? No, we
No,
weren't
we
in this
weren't
world
in this
90
world
years ago.
90 years ago.
Were they outside the classroom during the last lesson? Were they outside the classroom during the last lesson? No, they
No,
weren't
they
outside
weren't
the
outside
classroom during the
the
last
classroom
lesson.
during the last lesson.
They were inside.
They were inside.
Very good. Okay, next repeat. Field.
Field,
Very good, Homer. Field.
field.
Very good. Okay, listen. Field is a noun. It is a piece of land without trees or buildings. No trees, no buildings. And we use it for planting rice or vegetables or anything, or playing sport. For example, for planting, we have a rice field. For playing, we have baseball field. There are a lot of fields near the place where I live. There's a lot of rice field here. Let's practice. Are there any fields near where you live? Are there any fields near where you live? Yes or no?
No, I
There
don't
aren't.
live.
They aren't
They, they aren't
any fields
any
near where
field
I live.
near where I live.
Very good. Next, repeat increase.
Increase.
Very good. Okay, listen. Increase is a verb which means to go up. For example, the number of teachers in this school last year was about 800. This year, it becomes 800. The number of teachers in this school is increasing. Let's practice. Is the number of people in your town always increasing? Is the number of people in your town always increasing? Yes, the number of
Yes, the
people in
number
my
of
town
people in my
is
town
always
is
increasing.
always increasing.
Very good. Okay, last one. Repeat. Battle.
Battle,
War.
war.
Very good. Okay, listen. Battle and war are nouns. For example, there were battles between America and Japan. There were battles between Germany and England. There were many battles during the Second World War. There were many battles in a war. Let's practice. Are there a lot of battles in a war? Are there a lot of battles in a war? Yes, there are.
Yes,
A lot
there
of
are
battles
a
in a
lot of
war.
battles in the world.
Were there a lot of battles in Europe during the Second World War? Were there a lot of battles in Europe during the Second World War? Yes, there were
Yes,
a
there
lot of
were
battles
a lot of
in
battles
Europe
in
during the
Europe
Second World
during the
War.
Second War.
World War. Second World
World
War.
War.
Very good.
Second World War.
Very good. Okay, so now let's move on to reading.
Okay,
Okay, so our reading is at stage 2, paragraph page 216. Last headword was inside. Okay, let's start at page 117. Headword some. Stage 2, 117.
okay. I can see. Uh, are
Some.
some, but the plural of is some. But the plural of a book, the plural of a book is some books. What can you see in this classroom? I can see some books, some pens, a teacher, a door, etc. in this classroom. Have I got the thumbs on my left hand? Yes, you've got the thumb on your on
On
your
your
left
left hand.
hand. Have I have I got any friends on my left hand?
Fingers.
Uh, have I got any fingers on my left hand? Yes, you've got some fingers on your left hand. Well, can you hear well? Yes, I can hear well. Can you see well? Yes, I can see well. Can you can you speak Japanese well? Yes, I can speak Japanese well. Flower, plant. Do you like the smell of flowers? Yes, I like the smell of flowers. Have you got any plants at home? Yes, I've got some plants at home. No, I haven't got any plants at home. Whose? Whose book is this? It's your books. Whose hand's that? It's her hand. Whose, whose suit's that? It's a Mr. Brown's suit. Love. Hate. Do children generally love going to school? No, children don't generally love going to school. They generally hate going to school. Do children hate their mothers? No, children don't hate their mothers. They love their mothers. Do you love eating bad food? No, I don't love eating bad food. I hate eating bad food. Do you hate all food? No, I don't hate all food. Some I hate and some I love.
Mhm.
Meal, breakfast, lunch, dinner. A day, morning, evening. Tell me the names of the three meals that people generally eat a day.
Okay,
That
very good. So, but we stop there for today. But very good reading. Very